Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all my writers and weirdos. I am KibbyRose. I'm Authortubes lesbian psychic stoner. Today is Wednesday, April 23rd. It has been a Murphy's Law kind of day for me. I don't know about you, but I'm here to try to get some work done if my hands will let me, if the computer will let me, if just the energies of the world will let me today. I'm here to entertain you with a little bit of rants and everything else to help you be a little bit productive in between sprints. So just to recap, if you're wondering how we do things, back up a little bit. It's spelled out all in the trail opener for everybody. It was just the simplest way for me to do it. Today we have a couple things to go over because I did get our monthly WitchCasket subscription box in the mail. And I'm going to be working on, continuing along on my Dance Moms project in the background. I'm going to be going through, I have my paper over here. It's a little scattered on my desk. I have my paper over here to name all of the screenshots that I've done for episodes 7 and 8 for season 1. I've already finished all the videos for episodes 1 through 4 of the photos. I have to name the photos in Final Cut Pro for episode 5 and do the voiceovers for everything. But since my computer has been busting its little butt today and working hard, and it's the first time that I've ever heard the fan come on, I thought I would close down Final Cut Pro for now and just work on naming the pictures and do all the voiceover stuff and everything later. So that is what I'm working on today. I'm just going to be trucking along after we open our WitchCasket box. For any of you who are watching that are new, hello and welcome. Feel free to throw into the comments anything that you're working on. I love to help people out, give people inspired. If you have any questions, if you need any ideas, any inspiration, let me know. I can add in for help you with that. The project that I'm working on right now, we're going to be Cora and I, who is one of my regulars who's always in here. We're going to be launching a whole new channel. So that's kind of what's, but it won't be until probably June or July of this year. We're getting a lot of things set up and organized in the background so that when we actually launch the channel, my plan is to have 50 videos done in the background so that when I launch the channel and we do once or twice a week, I'll have a little bit of time where I don't have to time crunch, like pulling the 14 to 16 hours that I've been pulling lately, which is another reason why I look so exhausted. And I'm just frustrated, guys. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I've dropped my pen today, how many times I've fiddled. Like, at this point, I'm just grabbing my coffee cup with both hands. I don't know. I know there is a mass coronal hole in the sun that is faced our direction and sending a massive amount of plasma waves. And I never do well when we get bombarded with plasma waves. But I also had a Crohn's attack yesterday. Guys, I've been a mess for the past 48 hours. I don't mean to be droning on and being like, feel sorry. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. Not at all. But it's just that it's one of those things where I was like, I was in so much pain yesterday. And then today, nothing is going my way. And yeah, it's just nice to actually be on my stream and have some sort, because I know the next 2 hours at least are going to have some sort of structure to them, whether I like it or not, whether the universe likes it or not, because by God, I'm going to make sure we have some structure. But for the most part, if anything happens with the streams, if I end up being glitchy, because guaranteed with the way things are going today, my Wi-Fi is going to fight with me. Can almost promise you that. So if anything happens with the timers, with the stream, if I sound glitchy, if my mic goes out, just forgive me, guys. Literally, I have already done a protective spell. It's just, I don't do well when the sun decides to throw a hissy fit and throw a bunch of energy our way, and I get bombarded with it as a hypersensitive. I don't do well when that happens. So on that note, now that I've done my little rant, why don't we jump into our first 10-minute sprint? I believe it's already up. I think I'm pretty sure I prepped for that. Today was such a crazy day that I was like, I prepped for this stream literally an hour before it started because I was like, I'm not going to fight if the timers decide to fight with me. I'm not going to do it. So I gave myself extra time, but we're going to jump into the 10-minute sprint. After the 10-minute sprint, we're going to open our WitchCasket. And then after that, we're just going to truck along and get our work done. I've got my little pile of notes here that I'm going to be covering for my sprint. And before I spill this again, I'm picking it up with both hands and I'm placed. It's another thing I'm doing. I'm paying attention to what I'm doing, because that's how I've also spilled my coffee twice today, is I've gone to put it somewhere thinking that I had my angling right. And no, halfway. Yeah, same way I broke my ankle, you know. Anyway, so enough with my rambling. On with 10 minutes. So 10 minutes on the clock. And I will see you all. Oh, here's Cora. Actually, before we do that, we're gonna switch to this, and we're gonna bring this up. Hello, my dear. Hi, everybody. Uploading a video right now, so I should be writing tonight. Yay! But I will be in and out because of dinner time and bedtime, and things have just been crazy for you. I know it. I know they have. If anything, I hope that you are able to bust your butt and go worky work so that tonight you can actually crash out and sleep. So let's go from there, right? Let's go for that, which is kind of ironic. I'm going to say this. I have not been able to get a good night's sleep for probably a week. Last night was I slept 12 hours, you guys. I'm 43 years old. I don't know how I slept 12 hours, but I did. I slept 12 hours. And I thought today was going to go great. And then, yeah, Murphy's Law kind of day. I was just like, I can't win. And this is one of those days where it's like, you know how they always say, when the universe fights, you fight back. I say up till a point. If you get that karmic 3, where it's like the universe 3 times kind of lets you know you're not going to have your way that day, go home. Give up and go home. And that's kind of where I am at this point. So I have no idea why now my hands are sticky, but I am going to go wash my hands because I'm not going to type on my computer with sticky hands. And we're going to jump into our 10-minute timer, and I will see you guys in 10 minutes. In 3, 2. All right, that's the end of that sprint. I was able to get almost an entire page done of renaming photos, which I thought was pretty good. So, but we're going to move on from that and WitchCasket time. So let me take this off. And before we do that, just real quick, yep, I know it. I said, I was like, my neck and my back are going to crack. All my tension goes in my shoulders. And when I sit still for too long, that's straight where it goes. All right. So, where everything locks up. So, let me move this stuff out of the way because it is the April subscription WitchCasket box. So, I'm going to give you guys the first look as per usual. So, there it is for you. We've got particular oddities. All right, so here is our cheat sheet, but of course we throw it away because we don't cheat. So that's pretty. So the first thing we've got is our monthly manifestation card with their beautiful artwork. I love that. I love that. Love that. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. So, and before we go on, I'm going to show you Cora's 200 and that is not bad. 232 words. You go, girl. You go, girl. With interruptions of a toddler wanting to mess with my computer. I give you props, girl. That is the absolute props for getting that much work done, even with a toddler. So congrats, girl. On to the next. So that was our monthly manifestation card. So on to the next item in the WitchCasket box. We've got our New Beginnings Wind Spell Kit. Check that out. All right, so let me open this up so we can check out what's inside. All right, so we've got our 3 herbs, which this being a wind spell, I have a feeling it's just going to be herbs. And their beautiful artwork again. And then the New Beginnings Wind Spell detail card. Absolutely love that. And normally wind spells just have ingredients, no jars or anything introduced to them. So, but I loved wind spells because they tend to work really well with air signs. All right, next thing we've got is our cat's claw bark. Oh, I love it when they include actual ingredients and not just in the I don't want to open this up, but I know for a fact this is genuinely good ingredients. WitchCasket always has the highest quality herbs when it comes to their kits. So there's that. All right, and the next thing we've got is our scroll. We're going to move this right out of the way. All right, just make sure I've got the right side up. So we've got peculiar things you can use in witchcraft. Oh, and I love this. There's a couple things that there are some new things here. Okay, so we've got tears. We've got wine corks. We've got compass. We've got old newspaper, and we've got rubber bands. Check that out. The rubber bands is new to me, guys. Yes, even with how long I've been a practitioner, there's still much more to learn. So, and the wine corks, I'm excited about that because if you saw my last stream, I saved the corks from my family wine that I finished up. So I'm definitely going to be looking at that spell. All right, so I'm just going to hold this up because truthfully, I don't think you guys got good enough peek. Here's the real peek of the WitchCasket box. We've got a lot of good stuff in here, you guys. All right, so I think the first thing we're going to do is the one that's kind of obvious already, and it's their pin. So here's a close-up of the pin. Just want to make sure I get there on screen. And then their beautiful artwork in the back. Do I have that upside down? I'm not quite sure which way that picture goes. I think it goes this way. Oh, I had the whole thing upside down. So let's redo that. There you go, guys. That's a little bit better. So there's a beautiful, and I love that pin. I am a mushroom. I love mushrooms. I love little shrooms. So I don't like doing them. I just like them. So there's that. All right. So the next thing we've got this beautiful red pouch. And you know me, I love bags. Their bags are usually always black. So I love this red pouch. What do we got in here? We're just going to grab it like this and pull. Oh. Okay, so we've got the goddess candle crystal holder. Oh, that is so cute. You guys, that's hand carved. That's hand carved just like the mushroom that we got last time. I love that. Oh, I love that. That is beautiful. Okay, so we've got, here it is up close, and there's the back for you. So this is definitely, and then here's the card it came with, which are goddess crystal holder and the beautiful art on the back. So, oh, that's neat. That's really neat with the, oh, that's really cool. All right. So we've got the crystal goddess, the goddess crystal holder. Okay. Then we've got our next bag, which is usually they're monthly crystal, and it's petrified wood. Okay, well, that's not a crystal or a stone, but this is petrified wood, guys. Here's the card. Here it is the back. And oh, that's so pretty. Oh, sorry, guys. That is a unique texture. That is a unique design. I wish you guys could kind of feel this. It's smooth, but not. It's very weird. It's kind of hard to describe the texture. Like, oh, that's really pretty. I really like that. That feels really nice to me, actually. The energy coming from that feels really calming. I think I needed to hold that right now. I'm going to have to do some study on petrified wood. That's not really something I've actually researched. But this is why I love the WitchCasket box, because even with how long I've practiced, I still get new stuff from them. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is this gorgeous little box. And it was already starting to fall out. So we're going to, oh my gosh, you guys, it's a little potions bottle necklace. Okay, potions veil pendant. Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, I didn't see the back of the box. And how beautiful the whole box is. So that is, oh my gosh. And it comes on a leather. Okay, I love that. Yeah, it comes on the leather necklace neckties that they usually have. But that is a actual bottle pendant, and it comes apart, you guys. That is so neat. I love it. I love it. Well, you're gonna be seeing that in future, definitely in future WitchCasket and different streams. What do we do here? Live streams. That's right. Hello. Think straight. So that is okay. So with how bad today was, this box is kind of making up for it. Okay, so the next thing we've got is Spellcraft Grimoire cards in a bag. Oh, these are okay. So these are, yep. So these are kind of like tarot cards, but mini versions. I like this. I love the gold on the side and all around it. And let's see, pins and needles. Put pins into candles to direct your intentions into the candle for candle magic. So it's not like tarot cards. These are actual learning cards, kind of like for kids. That's really neat, or for kids or for new students. That is really neat. I'm going to have to go through this because I bet there's going to be some stuff in here that I know. How to use keys. So we've got how to use keys, how to use salt. Oh my gosh, this is really smart way of doing this. Red brick dust. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go through these cards and do some investigating on that because that's really neat. That's the front of the cards. And obviously they have their WitchCasket on all the backs. So that, the only thing that would have made that better is if it actually came in its own little box, but I get it. That's so neat though. Okay, so we've got 2 items left, and that'll be the end of the box. So we'll do the small box and then the big box. So the small box, here is the box for you. And it just says, use this beautiful anomalous to hold small posies flowers or herbs, matches, incense sticks, or anything else that takes up your fancy. All right, so here's the decoration on the box because they always have the neatest decorations on their boxes. All right. Ooh. Okay, well, first of all, it's metal. Oh, that's really neat, you guys. And that is beautiful. So it's got the beautiful like fleur-de-lis type design on the whole cup. There's the inside for you. And that's really pretty. That is really pretty. Oh, I love it. Okay, well, you're probably going to see that in the background because I might be putting some flowers in that for springtime. All right, so, all right, last but not least, we've got our biggest box here. Okay, I'm just going to show you what it says on the back because I already saw it. So, magical basswood writing set. So, here's the design of the box. All right, so let's see if I can open this up like this. Right? Come on, Murphy, don't fail us now. Don't kick in now. We've been doing so good. Stay away. All right. Oh, look at that. Oh, you guys, look at that. I knew that was going to happen, but this is a solid wood, hand-carved, I forget what kind of pen this is. Why did I forget? Because my brain hasn't been working today. And then your own little pot of ink. That is super neat. So we're going to just kind of put that back in there like that. There you guys go. Look at that. That's so neat. Oh, so your own little quill. That's what it's called. It can't be called a quill though because it's not a feather, but it's the same tip as a quill pen. Oh, that's so neat. Okay, well, WitchCasket, you did it again. Look. Okay. I'm a happy little camper today. Like now my brain is going through like everything that we just got, and I'm like, yes. Okay, so we are going to jump into. I'm going to remove this because we're done with this, and we're going to add this to the stage. I knew it was going to do that. And we're going to jump into a 20-minute sprint. A, because they need to put all this stuff away. And B, because that's what we're here for, is for rants and sprints. So 20 minutes on the clock. And I will see you all in 20 minutes. In 3, 2, 1. And don't forget. All right, that's the end of that sprint. So I was able to get a whole page done. My fibromyalgia is fibromyalgia being oh, and it hurts to straighten out my hands. It's not age, it's literally fibromyalgia. And it always happens after I have a Crohn's attack, so I'm not surprised. But anyways, I'm going to be taking a little bit of medication. These are mango cannabis gummies. They have 100 milligrams of THC and 100 milligrams of THB, or TCB, which is supposed to help with the body part. I already take meloxicam, which is a muscle relaxer, and I've been taking that for over a year. So I've already got muscle relaxer in my system to try to help, or else, guys, or I wouldn't even be moving, frankly. So, but I need a little bit more help, and I'm thinking that's maybe why my hands necessarily haven't been on my side today. With the amount of times I've been dropping things and everything, I just haven't really sat down to type all day today. I've been running around doing other things, and in the typing is when I'm noticing, like, I'm thinking it's more of a fibromyalgia thing than anything else. So, what do we do for it? Massage. Take these, have meloxicam, and then just bear with the pain. Why do people with Crohn's disease and fibromyalgia have high pain tolerances? That's why. Why did Kibby not even react when her ankle cracked in half? Oh, because the level of pain I deal with on a regular basis doesn't even match. One of the funny story, the way I actually got diagnosed with fibromyalgia was because I broke my ankle. And it was one of those situations where I actually went to the hospital because I had a broken ankle. The hospital staff kind of treated me a little nonchalantly until the x-rays came back. And then they were like, you shattered your ankle. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And they're like, you're just sitting there. Well, long story short, I went back in for my check-in after 2 weeks, and I was in a fibro flare, and I was sitting on the edge of the examination table, just in a ball, like you do when you go into a fibro flare. And I remember the doctor talking to me about, the ankle and how everything else was doing. And then he looked at me and he's like, "You're in a lot of pain, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was just like, "Why?" And I was like, well, actually, I said, "This is what I call a flare." And he was like, "Well, where does it hurt?" And I was like, "Well, it starts at the base of my neck." And it's exactly how it works. It starts at the base of my neck. It runs down through the backs of my arms into the whole front of my arms, down my back, into my ribs, into my lower stomach, and then down the backs of my legs. It like starts from the back and works its way forward with everything and just kind of like goes like this. And it literally feels like your muscle is ripping away from your bone. Like, that's the best way I can explain it. And it's your entire body. And yes, it's very painful. And the more you move, the less it hurts. But at the same time, the more you move when you're in a flare, as soon as you stop, the more it hurts. So you either have to be constantly moving, and you can't sit still, because if you sit still, you lock up, and it just basically become a piece of stone. So now that I'm quit complaining about that, Cora has finished 399 words done, along with the fighting of the video uploading. Now I have to chase a kid, which is probably why she hopped out. Cora's probably chasing the child down to go to bed, because from what it looks like on my end, yeah, it's about that time to put them to bed. She always hops out around this time anyway, to put the little one to bed. So but anyway, if any of you are suffering from Crohn's or fibromyalgia, I take a higher dose of it, but meloxicam has been my lifesaver in regards to being able to actually still function on a daily basis. Whether I'm in a flare or not, I take it once every night. And yeah, it has truthfully been the only thing. I've been taking it for about 3 years now, and it's honestly been the only thing that's been allowed to let me work. And I haven't had any severe episodes since I've been taking the meloxicam. So I do highly recommend it. I also use natural substances to aid along with it, but that's only because natural substances have worked for me for a long time. I do understand that they don't work for everybody. So please get recommendation from your doctors before you choose to take anything at all. I just want to, I know that a couple of the people that I follow, including Alexandria Ryan, have asked questions regarding from people who have fibromyalgia and everything else, what they do to moderate their pain. I think the biggest thing is probably keeping your stress level low. The more you stress, the worse it's going to get. And it's not even instant for me. Probably because I've had a very stressful life. The onsets of it won't come on for probably about 3 or 4 days after the severe episode of stress. So mine is not instantaneous. I don't endure stress and go straight into an episode. It actually takes like 2 or 3 days for and I think it's because I process so much that the amount of information and processing that I do just filtrates down through my body, and there's no other way to dissipate the energy, and your brain is electrical impulses. So that's kind of my conclusion on it as to why it takes a couple of days for me, but everybody else is different. So now that I've done that rambling, I was able to get a lot more work done than I thought I was going to get done. I actually, like I said, I was able to get one whole page completed in those last 2 sprints. Unfortunately, it takes me 30 minutes to name 50 pictures. It is what it is. For episode 7, I have 192 pictures. I was averaging 150 pictures until I hit those episodes that have a lot of drama in them. This happens to be the episode where it's Call Me Laquifa. If you know, you know. So I've had quite a few screenshots of Holly and an afro. Like I said, if you know, you know. So that's probably why I have a little bit more this one. However, was it episode, I think it was episode 8 that I had like 200 and something. No, that was 100. Was it episode 6? Come here. Yeah, it was episode 6. I have 230 pictures. But episode 6 is also when the drama goes down between the 2 solos, or Maddie has 2 solos. So if you know, you know. So that if you ever wondering just how deep of a Dance Moms fan I am, yes, I can even tell you what drama happens in what episodes. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is. And truthfully, I only became this way because Dance Moms has been my background noise. And for those of you who haven't heard me before explain this, the reason why it's such good background noise for me is because my mom was she was a theater director. So for 6 months out of it, yes, she was a drama and chorus teacher for middle school, but 6 months out of the year, she did choral musical productions. I often had to sit there and watch because I was either in trouble and grounded, or she was, for whatever reason that there was multiple of them, I ended up having to sit and listen. So a lot of what goes on in Dance Moms in regards to the costumes, the makeup, the hair prep, the rushing to stage, I don't know how many times I've heard my mom say, nope, cut, do it again. No, stop, do it again. And or slow down. Like there's so many instructions that come from Abby that I remember being yelled. And in my mom's world, it was positive. It was not the negative experience, but there's a lot of similarities. So there's a comfort level for me. It's kind of sad that a show that endures so much PTSD on children is a comfort show for me. That says a lot about my childhood, but needless to say, it is. And that's kind of how not only was I obsessed with it when it started, but that's why I ended up listening, becoming such a fan of it, is because I bought all the seasons and I'd played in the background. And there was about a year where I couldn't afford cable. So I purchased the series just as a way to have something to constant, because I don't work in silence either. Like these 12-14 hour days, guys, I've got movies, I've got TV shows, I've got YouTube videos going on in the background. It's what I do. So that's what happened, is I'd be sitting there at work and just having the YouTubes or the Dance Moms playing, and inevitably after what, 10 years of having it playing in the background, I became quite engrossed and quite familiar with a lot of the stuff that goes on. It kind of cracks me up because certain things will come up and I'll be like, oh, that was season 2, episode 3. Oh, and this is another thing. I've been watching it so long, guys, that I can tell you when they've changed episodes. I can tell you when there's a Frankenbit put in, and I can tell you what episode it was used from. It's kind of scary because they've now inserted Frankenbits from episodes 3 and 4 in seasons 3 and 4 in season 1 episodes. Like, I remember hearing stuff and going, Melissa hadn't said that yet. I know Melissa hadn't said that yet because the situation in which she said that and she's referring to doesn't occur until season 3. So why is this in season 1? And trust me, the way I pointed out in our reaction series where I work with Cora, where I point out these things of like, I watched this when it originally came out. I remember sitting with my ex-husband, who is now my ex-husband, on the couch watching these every single week, throwing a fit because I had to wait a week to watch them. And then now, like, and all through the years, do you know, you guys, I can't even tell you how many times they've rewritten series 1 episodes. I can't tell you how many times they've redone them because trust me, episode 1 now is nowhere near the episode that I saw when this whole thing originally aired. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this reaction series with Cora, because there's so much stuff where I'm just like, that never happened. She didn't say that until season 4. And not only that, but like a lot of like, I really thought that when the Dance Moms came out and started doing their own series and their own episodes and stuff, that they'd be able to confirm a lot of this stuff, forgetting that trauma, PTSD, the brain works a lot different. Most people's brains work a lot differently with trauma than mine does. I have an eidetic memory. That means that no matter how much PTSD occurs or trauma occurs, I can't not remember it. My brain doesn't block it out. It's not possible. However, most people are able to do that. Most people's brains are able to block out traumas. So now knowing that a lot of these the moms are coming back going, I don't remember, I can't remember, I'm not sure that's how it went, or in some cases actually being able to clarify and verify, there's a lot of stuff where I've been able to be like, the reason that that's confusing you is because that didn't happen. Like, they took something from episode 4 and stuck it in between episode 2 because of the fact that they needed filler. And like, and guys, you can even point it out from like there's food items, there's outfits. When somebody's outfit appears out of the moms aren't doing quick changes. However, the moms seem to constantly have quick changes, and it's not just in that episode. So like I said, there's a lot of stuff I'm pointing out. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I don't know if everybody else will have as much fun with it as I do, but I'm into law. I love investigating. I love finding the details. I am a true Scorpio. I love discovery and details and puzzles and figuring things out and looking for the little keys and, little key pieces of information. Do you know how many cameramen I have spotted? Oh, I'm also playing a game of Spot Baby Clara. And also Dance Moms, I doubt they listen to my show, but if they do, just know that evidently it was Chloe that started the whole fur craze. I'm only on season 7 or episode 7. However, Chloe is the first one that wears fur, and I've pointed it out and I've added it to my photo thing. So like I said, guys, there's a lot of fun stuff that's happening. But anyway, we're going to jump into another 20-minute sprint here because I think that's enough ranting for me for now. We're going to zoom it back to the beginning. So 20 minutes on the clock, and I will see you guys in 20 minutes. In 3, 2, 1. And don't forget. All right. That is the end. Wrong button. That is the end of that sprint. I was able to get another page and a half done. However, I noticed there's one I'm missing, and it's a really important one. So I'm going to have to go back and pull up Final Cut Pro after we're done with all this and re-get it. But I have no idea how many numbers I was able to get. I have 35 left to name. So 118 minus 35. You do the math. I don't know what that number is. But a couple of things I'm going to rant about because I know Cora's going to fly in here in a minute and put in her notes as to what accomplished the word count accomplishment she's been able to do. Why is my mouth all of a sudden choosing not to be able to work? Hi, function. Thank you. So couple of things that I wanted to go over real quick because for those of my author friends who tend to hide themselves into the author world and not pay attention to current events that are going on, here's your peekaboo into current events that are going on. I'm going to try to keep it as non-political as possible, simply because guys, there's so much political going on. It's hard not to, but oh my gosh. Anyway, and it's all intermingling into crossing into all of everything. Like there's not a single person that is like, there's not one area now that you can talk about that's not touching on politics. And guys, I miss the days when we could talk about Hollywood and not have to discuss politics. I really do. Cora got 19 words. Hey, you know what? 19 words more than what you had, right? Besides that, you're probably trying to get 3 little ones into bed and asleep. And gosh knows that being a mom right now, that's the hardest time. So other than, well, I shouldn't say that. There are harder times, but on the daily basis, I think that's one of the hardest times. So I did take one of these. I only took half of it because, first of all, I'm trying them out. Second of all, I think they're pretty powerful, and I don't want to end up like staring off into space on live stream. So we'll see what happens. But if I start getting a little, y'all know why. If the look on my face starts to become that happy face, then you know why. So there's a couple of things I want to bring up that are a little political, but it has to do more with these are like more of, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening moments more than me wanting to rant politically. So just please understand that, okay? Whenever I bring up a lot of these topics, it's more along the lines of, I can't believe this is happening in modern times, more than, hey, I am for this side, one side, that side, or the other, okay? I'm not really for any side. I'm for the side of humans, as far as I'm concerned. I'll get into politics when the aliens come down and start negotiating on our level, basically. So a couple of things that I went, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Shein and Temu. So we all talked about how at the beginning when they first came out, Shein and Temu were amazing. Oh, all the products you could get. Oh, then we all started talking about the mass consumership, how we were dealing with fast fashion and all this pollutant stuff. Well, I literally came across I didn't come across, YouTube fed me a news article that was translated into one of my people that I watch. He translated it from I believe it was Chinese, forgive me, which they have many, many languages over there. And forgive me, I'm not sure which exact one it was, but he was able to translate it. And basically it was a port worker who handles a lot of the cargo that goes in and out of China. And he was talking about how the ports are literally suffering right now. They are literally congested because of the fact that they have so much product that was expected to be shipped piled at their ports for specifically Temu and Shein. I just mixed those up, didn't I? Word salad for Shein and Temu. That it's going crazy. They're going crazy over there at the ports, and then they're announcing, and this is why I'm just like, if you guys are wondering what's going on, China needs the consumers. There is nothing like the power of the American consumer. We have so many people here that we can actually build or break a country. just by buying or not buying products. And from what I understand, that is what's going on in China right now. He then went on to tell me that, or went to say that there are multiple factories that are Shein and Temu that are shutting down and closing. Millions of people are out of jobs, out of work overnight. They're now, the government is looking at shipping half of their production over to Afghanistan because they don't want to mass produce in their country anymore. And I was just kind of giggling to myself because I was just like, well, why are you complaining to us? Complain to your own captain over there, because the captain that's steering the ship is the whole reason why you've got tariffs as high as you do. Every other country is negotiating. I mean, I didn't even pay any tariffs on my UK package that came over, the WitchCasket. Thank you, Prime Minister. So there's a lot, or thank you, WitchCasket, for picking it up. Either way, I didn't see in it. My Just Fab order that is coming in soon, that will be unboxing soon, the tariffs were extremely low on it. And I know that they're being shipped from other countries that are negotiating tariffs. So it's one of those things where you're not going to make me feel sorry for your country. When I found out just exactly how many tariffs, you guys, we were facing 100% tariffs, 125% tariffs from all the countries, and we weren't allowed to sell goods in their countries. Like, once I actually did my research on it, I was appalled by how we were being treated by other countries. And at this point, I'm kind of like, good, slap them with the tariffs. Frankly, I'm tired of being taken advantage of. Our country is so broke that I can't, as a full efficient working human being that's able to create an entire YouTube channel, including the trailers, the timers, all of it, I can't find a job. Like, that's just ridiculous. And that's because Washington, I live in Spokane, Washington. It's a Democratic state. The state is freaking broke because they want to give all their money to the homeless. Dude, our mall is gone. We have no mall because no shops want to be here because they're like, unfortunately, Spokane is handling themselves the same way California did. And look how well it did for California. So am I here by choice? Not personally. I am here for my grandfather and my mother. If that was my choice, I'd be still in Virginia or on the East Coast. Honestly, I was looking at South Carolina. In the future, in probably 10 years, that might be where I am. I want to go where there's somewhere warmer, frankly, when I get older, because dealing with this fibromyalgia pain in my 60s, I don't want to be dealing with cold too. So in 20 years, I want to be moved down to Florida, North Carolina, Georgia area. And I have family down there. My Aunt Cherie's in Florida. Most of my cousins on my dad's side are in Georgia. I've got family in Texas. I've got, so they're all over there anyway. So that's kind of where I want to go inevitably. But as far as things are going down in democratic states, they definitely better wake up. And Washington is in a, what is it? What were we in? I think they were in a $2 trillion deficit. Just our state. On that note, a couple of things in regards to education in schools. I found out that Harvard, I'll say it again, Harvard is throwing a hissy fit because their federal funds are being taken away. Why is a college like Harvard getting federal funds? Why am I paying for Harvard to educate other people when I can't even get into the college? Explain this. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, Harvard, because it sure seems like if you're charging $150,000 a year per student, you should have enough funds to be able to function without throwing a hissy fit that you're no longer getting federal funds. I don't even give a damn what the reason that you stopped getting federal funds for. The fact that you were getting federal funds in the first place is why I'm pissed. How many other schools are getting federal funds? I am sorry. Why are we paying college loans? Why do we have student loans if the colleges are getting money from the federal government? If we're already paying for college out of our tax funds, why are we having to pay out of pocket? Make this make sense. Make this make sense, because it doesn't. And now any student loans that have been defaulted on, they're going to start docking wages. How about start docking? How about you as the schools repay all those students that have loans, the money back that you got paid from the federal government from our paychecks because they paid for an education and you obviously did butt kiss with their money. So I am sorry, Harvard, if you want to throw a little pansy hissy fit over not getting federal funds, but you ain't getting no sympathy from me. Sorry. Once you learn to budget your own funds accordingly and not have, I know of people that have been going to school right now that can't go to school because half the protesters that are on campus aren't even college students. They're not even supposed to be there. So if you can't lock down your campus and have campus security like you're supposed to have, screw federal funds and screw the fact that I'd even think about going there. Because frankly, as someone who's paying to go to school, I'm not going to fight through a bunch of people just to get my education. I mean, I was already ticked enough that I had to pay to get an education. I went to San Diego State. I was already mad enough that I pretty much walked 8 miles between all my classes because the campus couldn't figure out how to organize classes better. It was insane. Anyway, that real, like, I was absolutely appalled when I heard about that hissy fit. And guys, I don't give a damn. I really don't give a damn what criteria or basis that they stopped getting federal funds on. It's the fact that they were getting federal funds in the first place that I'm so pissed about. And good to whatever happened. Yes, and I'm getting heated. Good to whatever happened to expose this, because again, this is one of those things that my angels are like, this is what we're talking about, that the rug is gone. The rug last year got blown away. And anybody who's used to sweeping stuff under that rug to get away with anything, it's not going to work this year. And not only that, but if you don't start taking accountability, because this is obviously another sign that somebody needs to start taking accountability, you're going to face the hammer in June. Like, it is literally the year of fuck around and find out, and you're going to fail. Like, we've got the 3 F's going this year, and this is what we've been building up to. This is what has been anticipating, because by the end of this year, Pluto moving into Aquarius at the beginning of this year has basically set forth a change that is inevitable. That is why what happens in June, the same karmic hit kind of happens every June, but this June, this one is absolutely unavoidable, and it's going to be game changing. Also, Zelensky needs to stop throwing a temper tantrum like a 5-year-old, realize that he's an adult and his country was in war, and there are some sacrifices that you have to make when you decided to let somebody invade your country, and that might be giving up some parcels of land to negotiation, and maybe in the future have hopes of negotiating them back. But for right now, the way that the adults in the European government right now are handling things over there, like, I'm actually, I sided with Zelensky for the longest time until I heard a lot of these conversations that were going on. And now I'm just kind of like, you are acting like a spoiled 5-year-old. You need to realize you were in war. You're not going to get back everything you lost at the beginning of war. You're going to have to cut your losses just like everyone else in business. If you take a hit, you're going to have to cut your losses, figure out how to recoup, and then maybe in the future, figure out how to fix it and be able to gain it back. Look at Jaclyn Hill with her beauty makeup company. I mean, there's so many businesses that have had to take the same strategy in order to survive. And Zelensky needs to take a couple, like, why do you think Trump is working so well with the countries and with fixing things? To run a country, you have to be a businessman, and you kind of have to be a very brutal one. There are some things that you need to be human about, but on other levels, you have to be very cut and dry. And I understand where Zelensky's coming from, where, yes, he's losing land. Yes, but I would rather lose land than continue losing people. And it seems like Zelensky hasn't gotten that through his head yet. So, and then the last little rant I have is another, if you live in Maryland, I know, sorry, okay. I don't mean to be rude to anybody who is from Maryland, but my experience living in Virginia and dealing with people in Maryland, we don't have the most well-educated people living in that state, okay? I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying when your entire driving test is driving in a straight line for 500 feet, I have questions about the education level of the people in your city. On that note, why are Maryland senators on taxpayer dimes flying to Venezuela to fight for a man that, when you interview all the residents in Maryland, nobody wants him back, and all of them are telling him to stay there and that he deserves it? I don't understand how the senators of Maryland are so far disconnected from their actual people, other than the fact that this is a perfect example of just how far right the Democrats have gone in disconnect from their own agendas. I thought it was very interesting because there was a full 1 hour episode of a guy that literally walked around downtown Maryland with a microphone and asked random people about the gentleman that is now in Venezuela, and nobody cared. And when told the information, they basically all said to leave him there. So I don't know who these senators are exactly siding with when it comes to these causes. The more and more, frankly, truthfully, I'm going to say this is probably going to be very conspiracy theory, but I would start looking at payroll and wonder, because like I'm really starting to wonder if a lot of these senators and stuff are on the Venezuelan gang payroll. Like, are you on the M13's payroll? Are they paying you? Because that's the only other reason that I can think that they would be so adamant about fighting for these people. Knowing what, like, I lived amongst these people for a year. I heard what they did. Dude, I unfortunately have very detailed information and very knowledgeable experience about the wheelings and dealings of these people. And I honestly can't rationalize why anybody would fight for them. Anybody in our government anyway. So on that note, we're going to jump into our last 20-minute sprint. This is our last 20-minute sprint. So after this, we will be doing our little cheers and everything. But first of all, I just want to thank everybody who's been hanging out with us tonight. Cora, thank you for commenting and everything else. And to my replay crew, I love you guys. I see you. I appreciate it. Wow, to my new subscribers. I'm floored. I am floored. Thank you so much for so many new subscribers in such a short time. I'm ecstatic. So thank you. And I just wanted to take a second to say that because I haven't said it in the last couple streams. And then because I've been kind of hiding from my numbers, and I checked my analytics yesterday, and you guys on a really bad Crohn's episode day, you guys made me feel so good. I thought yeah, I just want to say thank you. So on that note, we're going to jump into a 20-minute sprint. So I'll see you guys in 20 minutes. All right. In 3, 2, 1. And don't forget to All right, so that's the end of that sprint, but you guys are going to hear me rant for a second because I just ran into another frustrating thing that I'm dealing with editing dance moms and doing all this. Okay, continuity errors, the amount of continuity errors. Oh my gosh. So literally, I have Maddie getting her crown at 34.19. I have Abby buying at 34:32 timestamp. I have Abby buying pictures of Nia doing her dance. And then at 35:25, I have Nia prepping for her dance backstage. How is Abby buying pictures for her solo before Nia's actually performed her solo? Continuity errors. Like, not only did they have cameraman who had no clue, absolutely no clue how to film a dancer, but oh my god, the editing, the continuity errors in the editing. Like, there's another one I found where Melissa is like, you catch Melissa wearing an outfit in season or in episode 2 that she doesn't wear until episode 5, and you catch her in a like, this is what happens when you take storylines and splice them up and drop them into places that they don't belong because you're trying to create more of a show instead of, and this is why it makes me mad, because I always thought these girls would be able to go back, because I thought, what a great time capsule to be able to go back and kind of like work through your trauma, because you'd have it all in a timeline. Not when editors decide to go and mess up like rewrite your entire childhood through editing. I seriously, there's so many times I just want to bee slap some of the editors. Like, oh, there's so many people on the production team that, like, if I ever met them in person, I'd be like, walk away from me. Like John Collins, walk away from me. Oh, they're like, and not only that, but there's also stuff behind the scenes that I know that these people have done from working in the industry that, let's just say there's a reason that John Collins worked on the East Coast and not the West Coast. Because you can't go back to where you burn bridges. Anyway, so it's just one of those things again where I'm just like, you guys try to rewrite history. You can't, like, when you're dealing with a reality show, it shouldn't be allowed. It straight up should not be allowed. They should not be allowed to edit like this. I can understand cropping and editing and cutting for like conversations and stuff that are too long, but taking situations where it's supposedly 6 months later and dropping them into like, oh, no wonder these girls will never recover. Their whole childhood is completely mass construed by so many editors and other people who want to rewrite their own stories. It's ridiculous. Anyway, hopefully with me being able to point out a lot of this stuff, maybe there's somebody out there, because we've got some amazing internet sleuths that can do some amazing puzzle piecing working. We could actually figure out the true timeline of dance moms, and not just the one that they're trying to portray. And we can do it all through our own research. And here's another thing that I found out, guys. There's a reason that I am having there's a reason that Core and I are not reacting to separate episodes on either end. Here's why. The episodes, season 1, episode 1, you get on YouTube, versus season 1, episode 1, you get on Netflix, versus season 1, episode 1, you get on Apple TV, versus season 1 episode you get on any other sources. Completely different episodes. You can't even watch one episode and expect to watch just another episode somewhere else and watch the same episode. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, and that's probably why there's so many reaction channels, because frankly, there's so many versions of just one episode that are out there that they can have so many people reacting to them. Anyway, that's my little rant on that. Because as much as I love Dance Moms too, there's so much about it that actually does really tick me off, because these girls were traumatized. They went through some major crap all through their life. And like a lot, and I'm really ticked off because here's another thing. A lot of the insults that were thrown and that were spewed and that were said that both Kelly and Christy recap on their Back to the Bar episodes, and that were spewed out of Abby's mouths, I remember them. And actually watching it back, I'm actually really mad, because that's some of the parts where I was just like, that's not what, like, I remember literally hearing the whole argument between Abby and Christy about Chloe. And I remember literally having it just in my ear, doing errands. And the first time I heard it, I specifically remember stopping, walking over to the screen and going, that is not what she said. You guys changed it. You guys cut it out. You guys made Abby look better. How shame on you. I was literally appalled because they originally aired what was originally said. And in a way, I'm glad they kind of cut it, because for Chloe's sake, I understand why they cut it. But at the same time, I'm like, the amount of ways that they edited Abby to look good is just appalling, and it's disgusting. And it's just another show that Hollywood promotes the most ugliest people, and it's ridiculous. And I'm glad that Hollywood is failing as it completely falls apart right now, because we kind of need a new Hollywood, truthfully. On that note, it is the end of our stream. I went a little bit longer on that rant. Sorry, guys. But, you know, it is what it is. Cora, I don't know if I was waiting for it, kind of ranting a little bit, waiting for her to come in with her numbers, but she didn't. And I'm not going to yell at her. She's probably running around trying to put the little ones to bed, because she responded yep to when I said that earlier. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's still trying to do so. So it's the end of our stream. So for anybody who has one, if you'd like to pick up your glass, I'm going to do our closing cheers. Thank you for joining me, guys. So may your angels be strong, may your energies be positive, and may karma be ever in your favor. And I will see you guys on Friday. Until then.